Alright, so to preface all of this, people are different. I know, thank you, Captain Obvious, thank you, thank you. But why I say this is, these things that I'm about to say in this video, they might not apply to you. In fact, maybe none of this applies to you. But I hope that, maybe it's helpful for a point of reference at least, or something like that. So that's the reason why I decided to format it this way, right? Like, what if I had a time machine to go back in time to talk to my first year compsci self? So yeah, all of this is just very personalized, I guess is the right word, for my own self. Because, if I try to please everyone, I will please no one. And I doubt anyone wants to hear some like generic sappy stuff anyway, so these are the things that I really wish I kind of knew. And yeah, so let's just get started. Okay, number one, you don't need self-help material. And by self-help material, I mean like books, I mean like StudyTube, I mean, Reddit threads telling you how to optimize your studying or your note-taking or your lecture listening or the like, right? I will be honest, I still am kind of a self-help junkie. Like, that stuff is popcorn to me. I don't know, just reading it just makes me feel good about myself, which is fine. I mean, I still think a lot of it is really helpful, but at this point in time, honestly, like, come on. I know what I need to do. I need to turn off my phone and get studying, right? I don't need, to binge 2 hours of how to stop procrastinating or, read another Cal Newport book. So, yeah, you don't have to, think so hard about optimizing your studying, your note-taking. Just do it. It'll be okay. You'll be fine. Second, know yourself. Now, okay, we've been through high school, we've been through elementary school, etc., etc. We've spent quote-unquote, a couple of years studying here and there, right? So we're sure, we know how we study, we're fine. But here's the thing. Even now, I'm constantly learning new things about myself, and, that's really important. You have to be really honest with what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. And after you figure out, your weaknesses, you should find ways to mitigate those weaknesses. Like for me, I get distracted extremely easily. It's kind of absurd to me. And I'm trying to work on it, and I'm also doing things to try to minimize my getting distracted, which I guess is point 2.5, which is the window of stupidity. Now, let me tell you a story. You might have heard of this story before. So, there's this guy called Odysseus. Technically, in this version, I guess they call him Ulysses, which is his Greek name, or Roman name, I could be wrong. Anyways, doesn't matter. Odysseus/Ulysses. So, he and his men are driving through this area. They're on a ship, right? And they know that there are sirens who sing, and the sailors basically jump to their deaths because they get hypnotized by the sirens. So what he does is he basically has his men tie him up to the mast so he can't do anything within that window of stupidity. So basically, do something like that for yourself. For me personally, I have some blocking software on my laptop, so I literally block things that I cannot do. So for example, I'll block Reddit and YouTube and stuff, so I literally can't, technically, physically cannot open those things and do the things. So yeah, really just know yourself and know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And it's okay if you're discovering them right now, because life is all about the learning experience, and this is gonna sound like a platitude, but it really is. I really believe that, and learning things is pretty fun. Okay, point 3. Subtract, subtract, subtract. Okay, listen. I know in this current day and age, there's so many cool and fun things that we want to do, but our time is disappointingly limited, and our energy is disappointingly limited. And of course, okay, I'm the last person to tell people to stop doing stuff because I have 18 million hobbies, and that's fine, right? It's fine if you love a lot of things, but the thing is, you have to really make sure you know where your priorities lie. right? You can change your priorities. You can change where you put your time and energy into. But for example, in this point of my life, I love reading sci-fi. I love reading novels, but I've, legally made a contract with myself and my mother to not read any novels, not read sci-fi, not read fantasy, because even though I love it, I know that I know myself, and I know that I can't have that distraction. So yeah, I'm going to subtract that from my life. And, once I'm in a place where I'm no longer in the danger of failing, I will reinsert that into my life in a reasonable proportions. So yeah. Okay, next point is 4, I think. 4, yes. Your profs are human. Well, get to know them. Like, most profs nowadays have office hours. Go to those office hours and you'll find that your profs are really, really cool. Like, I don't go to an Ivy League, but I've had profs who are Ivy League graduates or, who've taught at Ivy Leagues, and it's like, that's pretty cool, and you can look at their research, read their research papers, talk to them about their research. Most of them are ecstatic to hear you talk about their research. They'll like ramble on and on and on and on about it. And it's great because you can actually learn so much stuff from them if you go to their office hours. I know it's scary. I know you're like, oh my gosh, they're like so cool and they don't care about me and I don't want to take up their time. But look, office hours, it's their job to listen to students ramble. So go. And who knows, maybe you'll find someone really cool. Like the semester, the semester I just had, I consistently went to one of my profs' office hours, and I learned a lot about him and his research, and that was really cool, and that was really fulfilling to me, and that was more or less the first time I had, gone through one of my prof's research papers and, like talked to them about it in office hours, and I just thought that was a really cool and fun experience. And yes, I guess it's like not quote unquote technically applicable to what I'm doing right now because it's like super advanced and I'll probably not go into that field because it's kind of a niche field, but like, come on, life is not about optimization and only doing the things that are like eminently helpful for your graduation or stuff. And also, thank your profs, be nice to them. For me, I like giving my profs cards. And you don't have to do this for every single prof. I mean, unless you want to, but I honestly think that, no matter how stiff and cold and humorless a prof is, they are still human, and humans like it when humans are nice to them. So yeah, be nice to your profs, basically. And I've had about like a 33%, of profs come back to me and like thank me for the card after. So do with that what you will. Definitely, I think there are definitely people out there who do appreciate the nice word. Okay, next is kind of related to the first point, but things take time. Now, for me personally, in my YouTube recommended, I keep on getting these study videos, like the StudyTube videos, and it's fine. Again, like I mentioned, they can be helpful. There are, interesting things that you can learn from those things. But one of the themes I see pop up a lot, and this is not unique to StudyTube, it's just something I've observed a lot. But I think I first heard about this from one of Cal Newport's books, which is about deep work and optimizing your time and doing more stuff in less time. So you have more time to do other stuff, etc. So that kind of thing, right? There's this idea that I've seen going around a lot, which is, you can just do your studying in a condensed amount of time and have more freedom to do other stuff, which is fine. I definitely think that, if you just spend 12 hours going on Instagram and while pretending to study or whatever, that's definitely not great, right? You should put away your phone, try to focus. But the thing is, learning takes time. You can't just expect to sit your butt down and do an hour of code for an hour and suddenly you're a master. These things takes time. You have to be patient with it. And again, this is not a diss to those study YouTubers, they probably get way better grades than I do. So hey, take my opinion with a grain of salt. But again, I just think that learning takes time, and I know it's really hard sometimes, but try to be gentle with yourself. Try to give yourself time. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was at least marginally helpful. And yeah, special thanks to my dad for sponsoring this video by giving me this microphone.
You should really stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it. Stop thinking.